Hi, it's Jerry and Debbie, and we're going to do some talking today. But as always, we want you to do, hopefully, some talking as well, maybe even the majority of the talking. Take two. We want to take a second look at things in our lives, things that we've been through, experiences that we have had, things going on in society, in the culture, in the world. And today we're going to look at if you have ever been in a financial situation or some kind of a situation where you, as an individual or a couple, or maybe a family with lots of kids, maybe you've been on the brink. You've tried to be faithful to the Lord, follow His lead, and financially things got really, really tough. Maybe you had to rely on others, but God saw that you got through it somehow. Debbie and I are going to share examples of that as well, and we hope to hear from you. Right, Deb? This ought to be an informative program.
Oh, very much so, and it's reminding me of when I was in the back in the day, Jerry, raising kids and with all the family pressures and bills having to be paid, and so many times I used to really just hesitate to walk to the mailbox. We had mailboxes, community mailboxes, and so I would just do anything not to go to the mailbox because I knew there was going to be bills in there, and I thought, I just don't want it to ruin my day. So I used to wait till it was dark out to go walk to the mailbox. I just didn't want to see it, and there's so many pressures, especially when you're trying to be faithful to God and to raise your beautiful Christian family, and then all these outside pressures come along, and it really can make just living day-to-day life very difficult at times. And so I resorted to tons of prayer, Jerry. I was praying out loud all the time. Always had Christian music playing in the background. I wasn't fanatical, but I can tell you I was very deliberate in how I wanted to stay connected to God, because I knew that God had to handle things, because there wasn't those money trees in the backyard, Jerry. I kept praying for them.
That's right. Well, we're trying to set the table for you, dear listeners, but again, you sort of take it from there. 1-800-585-9396. 800-585-9396. Email take2@EWTN.com. You can text us. Text the letters EWTN to 55000. Watch out for that data rate in case it does apply in your situation. You can also post on EWTN Catholic Radio. But again, we're talking about when the pressures of life, financial pressures in particular, maybe economic uncertainties, the loss of a job, you can find yourself, especially as a family, hanging on by a thread. And we want to know if you've been in this situation and how you worked through it, and how God showed Himself to you in this. This is how Debbie and I learn, and this is how we really, I think, Debbie, inspire others who might be going through a similar situation right now.
I also want to share, too, Jerry, that while going through it, you are jogging my memory from 25 years ago. It's amazing. But I remember talking to my pastor at the time, because he gave a wonderful homily on tithing. And he talked about really trusting in God and being faithful to God, and God will be, obviously faithful to us. He always is. And I remember sitting after Mass, and the pastor and I were actually sitting on the curb, actually talking, and it was one of those high curbs where you can sit on, and we were sitting there just talking, and I said, Father, tell me the truth about this. How does this tithing work? I mean, there's only so much money we have in the bank account. How do we do this? And he said, Deb, it's all about trust. And I remember going home that night, and I said to my husband at the time, I said, okay, we're going to start tithing. We're going to start giving 10%. And I was like being so bold, Jerry. I said 10% before taxes. Okay. So not net. So here, and he looked at me, I'll never forget it. And he was shaking, and he says, you're kidding me, right? And I said, no. No, I'm not kidding. And I don't know what made me do this, but it was like for all intents and purposes, it was kind of, when you're looking at it from the outside, that's not a very responsible thing when you know you don't have enough money at the end of the month to pay all the bills. But we started tithing, and it changed our whole entire life. It really did. Our whole entire financial life, which is, that wasn't the reason why we did it, but I needed something more to just build my trust in God, and this was the perfect thing. And it was every month, Jerry, we would literally shake writing out that check. But it was amazing, the blessings that flowed. And I believe, in my heart of hearts looking back, it was because I showed, I guess, a little bit of trust to God, and he showed an abundance back to me.
Well, we intellectually, we should know that God is always there. Sometimes we wonder. Sometimes, perhaps some of you listening right now, you have prepared a meal. Maybe your family sat down for dinner, and you and your spouse looked at each other, didn't have to say a word, and you just knew that this was basically all that you had left in the fridge. And you're wondering, where do we go from here? Where do we turn? How are we gonna make it? I can share a quick story, Debbie. I know a young couple that had several kids, and the husband had real trouble keeping a job, and so they were renting. In fact, to this day, I don't believe that they've ever owned a house, and to their astonishment, they found out that a priest in their area had arranged anonymously. They never knew who this priest was, but to pay their rent until such time as they were on their feet. And then, thank God, they're on their feet now. The husband has a good job and so forth. But we want to have this conversation because, especially today, Debbie, we've seen the economy. A lot of people think it's robust and the stock market's up and all this, but a lot of people are really, really struggling right now, and we want to have a forum here where we can hopefully provide some inspiration.
So the number to dial to get in on this discussion, it can help others. It can help many souls. So think about it. If the Holy Spirit is nudging you, why don't you just say yes to the Holy Spirit and call in at 1-800-585-9396, or you can text the letters EWTN to 55000 and just put in the information when prompted. Data rates may apply. So this is our story today. We're talking about when we almost didn't make it. The families that just feel like they're on that brink of they just in those dire straits, not sure where to turn, not sure if it's going to be a brighter day tomorrow. That's what we're talking about on Take Two. Let's do this together. We'll be right back.
This is Life Issues with Brad Mattis, president of Life Issues Institute.
Russia has a horrible record when it comes to the unborn. 70% of their pregnancies end in abortion. So it was a welcome development when the Russian Orthodox Church and local health officials of one Russian region banned abortion for a single day. It was on the commemoration of the massacre of the innocents when King Herod killed the baby boys in Bethlehem. This one-day reprieve is welcome, but Russia needs to go much further to protect their greatest natural resource, preborn children. For example, if Russia would decrease their abortions by 50%, their population would stop shrinking and they'd have stable growth. But the long-term solution for many of Russia's woes would be to stop abortion completely. If so, they could become a prosperous nation.
Follow us on Twitter at Life Issues USA and stay informed, more informed than you've ever been.
Have you heard about Church Pop? It's the newest member of the EWTN family with new online Christian content that's fun and inspiring every day. Find it on Snapchat, Instagram, and on the web at churchpop.com.
Post your intentions on the prayer wall on Jerry and Debbie's website. To get there, just click on the bright yellow J&D logo at take2show.com. Jerry and Debbie personally reply to every prayer intention that's posted. Others will also offer you their prayer support. When there's something important you want prayers for, post it on the prayer wall on Jerry and Debbie's site. Visit take2show.com, click on the J&D logo today.
This is Father Joseph Mary.
This is Dr. Ray Guarendi, host of The Doctor Is In.
Hello, this is Bishop Mike Siss from the Diocese of San Angelo, Texas. Thank you for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and you are always the one who we say drives this program. And today we're talking about really an important topic, and we want to, I just know there are people listening who will benefit from what you share your takes at 1-800-585-9396. We almost didn't make it. Maybe there are people today listening who think that they're not going to get through a financial challenge that they're facing right now. Maybe are living with relatives somewhere, or just really struggling to pay the mortgage or the car payment or what have you. And if you've been in that situation, been on the brink, so to speak, and God has come through for you, or if other people have come through for you on behalf of God, we'd love to have you share your story.
Yeah, bring hope to others. Absolutely.
Yeah, indeed.
Jerry, can I just say something about yesterday's show? We're getting a lot of emails that have come in. The way to email us is take2, the number 2, at EWTN.com. At the end of yesterday's show, Donna had called in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Holy Spirit Radio and shared about the death of her brother Dominic. And we were praying for Dominic. We added Dominic to our book. But Donna, apologies again to you, because you closed out the show and we were up against the clock, so we had to go very fast. We definitely want to express our heartfelt sympathy to you in the loss of your brother Dominic. But Donna, if you could also email us at take2, if you're listening right now, if anybody knows Donna in the Philadelphia area, call Donna and let her know we're asking her to email us. Take2, the number 2, at EWTN.com. I just want to share with you some of the beautiful, beautiful remarks that have been made by the Take2 family in support and prayer for you, and just your generous spirit, and what a great sister you are. And we wanted to share that with you. So Donna, if you're listening, please email us. Okay. Good. We're going to go to your calls about being on the brink, and hopefully, God willing, you found the light of a better day with people's help or God's help. Rachel is going to join us first, listening to EWTN Radio in San Antonio on Guadalupe Radio. Rachel, thanks so much for being with us. Welcome.
Hi there.
Hi, Rachel.
I'm glad I was able to tune into the radio show. I've listened to the show once in a while, but I appreciate today's really a good topic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was commenting briefly that my mother died a year ago yesterday, and the last year has not been a good year. I was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer in April, out of the blue. It just happened to be, thought I had food poisoning, went to the hospital, found out it was bone marrow cancer. And then in July, I was diagnosed with another type of cancer, and I had to have surgery and 19 radiations. And during that time, there was days where I couldn't work because the radiations would get me exhausted. And there was days where I pushed through, like toward the end of the radiations, I'd try to work like half a day, one day as a substitute. But really, the finances weren't there. I lived through my mother's life insurance because there's days that I couldn't work. I had to eat and things like that. Well, last Sunday, we had a mass at St. Matthew's, and Archbishop Sied was there, and he gave me a blessing, and he told me to go to the Catholic Ministries, Catholic Relief, or I forget the name of it, but the one over
Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities, yeah, and talk to somebody. And then another person told me to go to CAM and see if they could help me with my water bill. Well, today I got $75 assistance for the water bill. They're not going to shut it off anymore. And then St. Bridget's, St. Vincent de Paul gave me groceries. It's been very difficult for me to even accept groceries because I'm a person that's a giving person to the community, to the Archdiocese. And this time I'm in need, and it hit me hard. But you know what? I'm grateful. They gave me a lot of groceries to get through the month, and they gave me the $75 between St. Bridget's and the St. Vincent de Paul and CAM to pay my water, $75. I still owe over $200 for the water bill, but at least I got that taken care of, and I think they're going to do a payment plan for me now. But I wanted to ask your listeners to really pray for me and for y'all, because I've never gone through such a difficult year. I have 2 master's degree and no work. I'm working as a substitute just whenever I can, but the cancer doesn't help me in the body because I get exhausted by half the day, and it's not like I'm concerned I really can't hold a full job. So I started losing my faith a little bit. I'm starting to lose my grip. So this is where I'm concerned, because when you start getting lukewarm, even though I'm a strong person with the sacraments and everything, when you start getting lukewarm, you start getting into rough waters. So I would ask I'm grateful that I got assistance today, and I'm grateful for my best friend who feeds me completely, she and her husband. They bring me dinner. They allow me to eat dinner all the time at their house for breakfast or what have you. In fact, right now her husband called me and said, come eat breakfast at my house.
Beautiful.
Which I'm grateful for.
So, Rachel, you have a support around you. Yeah. Yeah. You have support around you.
A small friend of mine, and then the Archbishop's advice to go to that place to talk to them about it. And one of my other friends who says she can take me to the place where they helped her for utilities as well.
Right.
A community center on the east side. So I'm grateful for the people who are with me, and I'm grateful for my faith. But I'm a little slippy now.
Okay.
So please ask your people to pray for me at the time.
You got it. Well, here's the thing, Rachel. So first off, yes, and Take Two family, we're prayer warriors. Okay, so dear family, Take Two family, pray for Rachel that she can gain strength and beat this cancer and then become a cancer thriver. Not just a survivor, not just gripping on and hanging on. We want you to thrive, Rachel. So we need to pray and you need to take comfort and trust in those prayers. And we're going to also pray that you don't become lukewarm. You actually become on fire for your faith, because you're going to be seeing, like you're seeing with St. Vincent de Paul and Catholic Charities and your friends asking you to come over and to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And even though this is a humbling experience, you're seeing God's hand in it, Rachel. And the fact that you called today, now you have a prayer team around you. So we want you to know that. Rachel, please, if you can also share your mom's first name. We want to enter her into the book. This is her year anniversary of her passing, and we want to enter you in the book. So I put you in the book, Rachel, but I need your mom's first name if you're willing to impart that to us.
My last name is Olvera. My mom's name is Raquel Olvera.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
She worked with the Archdiocese for 30 years. She taught at MAC for 40 years, the Mexican American Cultural Center. She taught Spanish to priests and nuns all over the world that would come to MAC to learn Spanish. And in fact, when they showed the video of the Archbishop, my mother was in the video because she worked in the video. I had the privilege of singing with Carlos Rosas when Archbishop Flores had Pope John Paul at his apartment at the seminary. We stood in front of his apartment and sang to him Las Mañanitas, and he came out and gave us a blessing, the Pope John Paul. And I remember Archbishop so well. I'm saddened by his loss, but I remember going to MAC and just hanging around with him, because my mother would hang around with him.
Rachel, let me offer a suggestion to you, and I join Debbie and all of our listeners in offering our condolences. It's been a year since your mother passed, and I would just say, in regard to this faith question, I'm not so sure that you're wavering. You sound strong. I know that this can cause a person to wonder where God is and maybe doubt his providence and things like that. I too encourage you to stay strong, but to do so to honor your mother and her memory and Raquel, knowing that she is with you in spirit and you can pray for her, and every day that you remain steadfast in your faith, and that includes offering prayers for her soul, which we will do as well. In honoring her, I think that will provide you with a lot of strength as well. So, Rachel, we have a lot of calls, so we're gonna move on to the next one. But your story is very poignant, and you are going through a lot. We're gonna pray. We are definitely gonna pray that God will raise you up out of the challenges that you're in, and really, as Debbie said, help you to thrive. So, thanks, Rachel, for the call. Appreciate that. Okay, we're gonna go next to. Let's see, Mary, just calling from the South is all it says. Mary, welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Mary. What would you like to share today?
I just want to share, I hope this will give some people some encouragement about God answering prayers in his time, not in ours. And I had a long-time job that I thought I would retire from, and was very, very unhappy there for a long time. And but I was still devastated when I lost that job. And for a couple of years, I just did whatever I had to do to get by and make ends meet. But at the end of the 2 years, I had interviewed for a job, and I was absolutely sure they were going to offer it to me. And one day I was kind of lamenting that they hadn't called yet when it struck me that the next day would be the anniversary of my having lost that job. And I just knew that they would call the next day. And they called the next day on 2 years to the day and probably to the minute of my having lost the other job. And I am so happy at this new job. It's just the best place I could work. I just didn't expect to actually be happy. I just needed a job, but I have one and I'm happy. And the timing was just made it so clear to me that it was an answer to prayer.
Oh, absolutely, Mary. I mean, when you hear that, that just gives us a great concrete example that God exists and He's very active in our lives. There's so many times we think He's so far away, busy with some really other things happening in the world, and our little situations and problems don't seem to draw His attention. Not true. He knows every hair on our head. He knows exactly what's happening. And to have that timing be like that, what a great gift you got, Mary. That's a gift.
I did, and I'm very appreciative of it.
Beautiful. But we needed to hear that, Mary. Do you know why? Because here's the thing. Just like with Rachel's call, there's many of us that are tired and just kind of gripping on and hanging on to the edge of the cliff and saying, Lord, when are you going to show yourself? And see, when your story gives us all hope that God will respond, and He will respond, even with a little sense of humor. You know, the timing was no accident. So I think it's really interesting, and thank you for sharing it, because it gives people hope to go on and to know that there are better days ahead if like Jerry said, we remain steadfast and faithful. So thanks, Mary. Thanks for that beautiful, beautiful story, and God bless you in your future work.
Thanks, Mary, for joining us. Yeah, God bless. Have a great day. Liz, we're going to go to you next in Pleasanton, Kansas, listening to EWTN radio there. Hi, Liz. Thanks for calling Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. What are your thoughts on this topic? Hi, Liz.
I kind of feel like, the last 2 years actually has been nothing but trial after trial and fairly significant trial after trial. And then my best friend in the whole world and the best person that I know in the whole world, we were married May 30th of 2015, and I say he's the best person. He's very humble, he's very much a gentleman, and very inspiring. I came from a very rather violent past, and but when I had met my husband, I completely just forgot about it. I learned, what real love is, and he showed my son his unconditional love, and my son is developmentally delayed. So, to take something on like that out of your own heart and out of your own willingness it's pretty big to me. So, long story short, the day of our wedding, there was something rather significant that triggered me back into, my past, and I started having these symptoms of what I know now as PTSD, and so since then I have was in intensive outpatient therapy for 6 to 8 weeks at a time, actually a year apart. And so my husband has done nothing wrong. He has worked so hard to try to provide and just try to keep me happy and everything, but
Liz, hold that thought, Liz, just for a second. You're going to hear there's the music right there. This is a break we have for our affiliates. We're already, thinking of a number of things that we can discuss with you about this. It's a difficult story, but God is certainly in the midst of it, and we want to try to identify what He's doing in your life there. But we got to take this break. We can't move it. So Liz in Pleasanton, Kansas, stay with us, and the rest of you, we'll get you on Take Two today as well.
We are called to defend life. From the rally to the march, EWTN brings you live coverage as the pro-life generation moves through the streets of the Capitol. Don't miss the March for Life, hosted by Lauren Ashburn from Washington. Coverage begins tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio and television. EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
Listen to EWTN Radio at any time, day or night. Audio on demand brings your favorite programs, recently broadcasted shows, prayers, and devotionals instantly to you for free. For more, visit EWTNapps.com.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
I never cease to wonder at is that this Jesus, Son of God, came born in a stable, escapes from a king. When his whole life he's kind of hunted down by the jealousy and the ambition of the scribes and Pharisees and the king. And he speaks and heals to the people. He raises the dead and exorcises demons. Nobody's grateful. He does all that. He continues to do all of that. And we still don't understand how much he loves us. Isn't that odd?
For more information on Mother Angelica, visit Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com.
This is John Martinoni, host of Open Line Monday.
Hello, this is Archbishop Charles J. Chaput, the Archbishop of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
This is Jerry Usher, co-host of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Thanks for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network. All right, great to have you with us today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. By the way, we are going to be preempted tomorrow. We will not be with you, but you're going to be treated to outstanding, as we just heard during that break, outstanding live coverage of the March for Life in Washington, D.C. Very, very important event. If you're anywhere near there, please try and get there and be a part of that massive crowd to march in support of human life in all of its stages. If you can't make it there, tune in to EWTN radio or television and listen to or watch the entire broadcast. All right, Liz in Pleasanton, again, we sincerely apologize, Liz, but go ahead and pick up where you were, and if you have any other things to add to that, and then we'll try and sort this out a little bit for you.
Okay. I wasn't a very appreciative person, and I isolated, and and this is over a year span, but basically I pushed my husband away, or he made him feel like he had to walk on eggshells around me. And since then, there's been, financial stress, work stress. I actually ended up losing my job as well. And now he's to the point where, he can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. He's ready for a divorce. I have literally done everything that I can possibly do, mostly just get back with my faith. I have spent so many hours in Mass, or especially during the Year of Mercy, or during, just making myself go to adoration, making myself pray the rosary even when I didn't want to, the Divine Mercy Chaplet. I don't know how many novenas I've said. That's my saving grace, and that's the only thing that's keeping me holding on. Everybody keeps telling us, well, sometimes these things happen, and, you can only push a person so far. And I said my vows, and I very much intend to keep them. I'm not ready to believe that it's over.
Okay. So, Liz, were you and your husband married in the church, the Catholic Church?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But I have every intention on having our marriage blessed if this thing
can come together.
We can get through this.
Okay. So a couple things. Can you ask him to pray about it and then listen to this show? You know, it's archived on take2show.com or on YouTube. Can you ask him to listen to the show and let him hear your heart? Because you just expressed your heart in a very open and vulnerable way to the world. And maybe he needs to hear that. That's number one. Let me just finish real quickly. Can I finish? And then I have all these thoughts, and Liz, I'm getting older, and if I don't say them, Jerry knows. They go right out the window. So
it's
real
true.
Quick. Thanks, Jerry. Liz, here's the thing. You had this this emotional, psychological, or medical issue that resurfaced, and it really hit your marriage hard at a vulnerable point because you just got married in 2015. So basically, you're still newlyweds. One thing I would just ask for you to do is to you've gotten close back with the church. That's where you need to take root. Your marriage needs to start as a sacramental marriage. And so you got to rewind back to the beginning. What I would suggest for you to do is to contact your parish priest or deacon immediately and ask them to help you find the resources, or if they can't help you themselves, to point you in the right direction, because you want to give your marriage the proper start. You want to save your marriage. You need to enlist those resources around you, because you're doing the right things right now, praying and staying rooted in your faith. But your husband also has his free will, so he gets to do what he wants to do. So in order for this to really work, I believe, and to receive the God's blessings and graces, it's got to start from the beginning and start in the right way, because what's happening now is it's snowballing. And see, you said about losing the job, and now there's financial pressures, and now your husband wants out, and now, okay, see how it's working? And it's just that storm is just getting bigger and bigger. We got to pull it back and start from the beginning and do it the way God intended. So that's where you got to go back to the church and enlist their help. If they will not help you because they don't have the resources, I'm sure there's many other churches in Kansas, and I know Kansas Diocese is amazing, that can have the resources to help. Jerry, I hope you can add on to that, because I feel passionately that Liz needs to know that.
No, I think that's a beautiful suggestion to really, like you said, ground the marriage first and foremost, and really root it in the sacraments and in the church. And other than that, the one thing that came to my mind, Liz, and I don't know if you and your husband have sat down with any kind of a pastoral mentor or any kind of counseling or what have you. It's not a sign of weakness. Actually, I really believe that a person or a couple that are receiving any kind of counseling, that's a sign of health, because you want to be better. You want to move beyond challenges that you're facing in your life. So I don't know if you and your husband have taken any steps in a direction such as that.
He doesn't want to seek counseling. I've already mentioned that. So that's pretty much why I'm to the point where I'm like, what's the point?
Right. Well, here's the thing. Okay, if he doesn't want counseling, that's one thing. But you could maybe, if he's any type of spiritual person, maybe you could at least ask him to visit with you, to sit with a deacon or a priest, because maybe that'll just spark a little sense of direction for him, to maybe a sense of hope, if you will, that the marriage could survive and actually be a very beautiful sacramental marriage if done in the right way. So, Liz, maybe the best thing is to ask your husband to listen to this show. Really listen, and maybe our Take Two, our Take Two family, please pray for Liz and her husband, just to be open to the options that are there, because God wants us to have an abundant life. He wants us all to be fulfilled and live a purposeful life. He doesn't want us to walk away with relationships broken and feelings of regret and things happening. So let's get together. Let's start with prayer. Liz, if you can get your husband to just listen to part of the show, maybe it might open his heart a little. That's what we can pray for, Liz.
Okay.
Okie doke. Will you keep us posted?
Yeah.
All right. Hang in there. You're strong. You're very strong. You got to remember that. And you're a mom, you said, and so you got to remember that you can really weather through this no matter what the outcome is, because if you stay rooted in your faith, God will not let you fall. He won't. I'm living proof of it.
All right,
Okay,
Liz. Yeah, you got a lot of prayers. Thank you, Liz, for sharing your heart today with all of us, and many, many people already praying for you. Okay, if you're on the line, we're going to get to you here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We almost didn't make it. That is our topic today. Financial or other challenges. Have you faced them and looked up at that mountain and said, there's no way I can climb this, and somehow with God's help, with human help, people acting on behalf of God, maybe you managed to get through a difficult time. You really could inspire someone with your take today. 1-800-585-9396. Okay, Chris, thanks for waiting patiently, listening to EWTN Radio on Redeemer Radio in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hello, Chris, you're next.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, Chris. Thanks so much for calling.
Hi, yeah, you got me today when you said maybe the Holy Spirit is nudging you, because every morning I pray that I will say yes when He nudges me. So here I am. I just wanted to share our most recent blessings from God. My husband and I have 6 kids from ages 15 down to 5. So we've been doing this, monthly biting your nails thing for quite a while. And God has always come through for us, sometimes right at the last minute, other times just in beautiful ways. But just most recently, we last year were looking for a new vehicle because our vehicle was getting old, and every time we took it in, it was, hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars to fix it, maintain it. And so we got a really good deal on a newer vehicle, and we thought, well, yes, this is smart. Let's do this. And so we got this car, and then about, 10, 11 months later, things are falling apart on this car with all the bells and whistles come even bigger price tags. And so, we're like, had it taken in a new ballpark what it was going to take to fix a couple of these things, but didn't have that. So these couple of things just kept getting a little worse. And so we're like, well, we've got to do something. We either look for a new car or we fix the one we have. And we decided that we needed to fix it. And so this week we just called and got it in and just started praying. My husband had his list. He's like, well, this is the best case scenario, so this is what's going to happen, and which is really kind of unlike my husband. He's not a glass half full kind of guy usually, but I was like, yeah, okay. And I started praying, and I just know now, after so many years of this, that, God, you are in control, and we don't see what's going to happen or how this is going to work out, but you do. And okay, let's just see what happens. And so we found out yesterday that we had 2 major things that were wrong. We took it in for one, and it was much less than what we thought it was going to be to fix it. So we're like, okay, still not sure where that money's coming from, but this is great. This is good. It's going to be fixed. And so they fixed it today, and the guy called my husband and said, how long has this other thing been going on? They talked a little bit, because by fixing the one thing, the other thing is gone now as well. So,
Wow.
2 birds with one stone there, and God just continues to amaze me and how, you don't see what's coming, but He's got great things in store. And, through the several years that we've been going through this, it's not always this profound, but I just know. I know that God is always there. And we get tight and we get scared, but He's always there, and He always provides.
Wow, Chris, I just want to comment first. I know Debbie probably has a couple things, but I just want to say God bless you and your husband, and I'm sure your kids as well. It's got to be a family deal, the trust that you have, the faith in God, and it doesn't get... Well, I can't speak for you. I know sometimes it doesn't get easier, but like you said, it just, if it happens over and over again and God comes through time and time again, I guess there's a sense in which maybe that trust does grow, it does develop. But I'd just be curious to know, is there ever been a time when you've just said, okay, God, can it just...
Okay. I think we just had a disconnect with Jerry for just a little bit. Chris, I hope you're there because Jerry was going to ask you a very good question, but I want to just comment too. First, thank you so much for saying yes to the Holy Spirit and calling in. Your story, I have a smile from ear to ear because you remind me so much of my friend Beverly. And Beverly, if you're listening, you remind me so much of Chris because I love what you said about God. You are in control. So many times we forget that. We think we're in control. We think we can conquer all this. We can take care of it. We've got this covered. If you're a mom like you are of many children, you think I can handle this. But it's God who's in control. And so I just want to say, Chris, thank you for affirming that. We have to remember that. It has to be on the forefronts of our minds and our hearts. And that's what will keep us going forward. My friend Beverly, she cracks me up, Chris. You'll get a kick out of this. She, every time I start to waver a little bit, she'll say, Deb, relax. God's got it covered. Let's pray over it. Let's pray. And I'll look at her. Sometimes I'll say, Beverly, you're crazy. And I say it in a good way. But she goes, Deb, you got to have faith. And it's so true, Chris. And I'm glad you said yes to the Spirit and called in because you probably, actually, I know you have. You helped me. So I'm sure you've helped many with your story. And I think it's wonderful that you and your husband are building your faith and trust together and God is showing himself on a daily basis. Are you with us, Chris? Because we're trying to get in touch with Jerry and I don't know if I lost all the callers. Chris, are you here? No, Chris?
Hello?
Okay. Oh, Chris, you're there. Good. See, Chris, it's you and me because we're trying to get in touch with Jerry. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I really think that your story, I mean, I know it's happening to you and it's on a daily basis and you're trying to take care of a big family and I get that. But I would have to imagine that as maybe the question that Jerry was going to ask is, was there ever a time maybe that you wavered in that trust? But it sounds like your trust is building.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, there have been times I remember, I think it was on the Feast of Christ the King, and things were really, really just like, what are we going to do? And I remember we have a bread store here in town that you can get discounted bread, and I didn't even know how I was going to go get that bread, but I just went, and there was adoration at church, and, that was probably one of the really first times that I was went to God and said, I'm not in control. You are. So I'm going to follow, and you just lead.
That's right.
And he always does.
I know. And I loved how you said, God always amazes me. I feel the same way, Chris, the exact same way. He amazes me. His timing, his precision, the way he just shows himself at the perfect time when you're feeling like there's not another step or breath you can take. And then all of a sudden God shows his magnificence. Absolutely. Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, Chris, God bless you. It sounds like you're a great mom, and thank your husband as well. And those, you said 6 kids?
Yes.
Okay. Just to let you know, I'm the youngest of 6. So there you go.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
So tell the youngest.
Thank you, and Jerry for everything you do.
Oh, thank you, Chris, and tell the youngest of your family too that the youngest one. That's a good place to be.
I will let him know. Little Ben. I will let him know.
Little Ben. Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Chris. God bless you.
All right. God bless. Thanks.
Thank you. How beautiful is that? Well, this is a perfect lead-in to share with you about pilgrimages. If we want to build our trust and our faith in God, pilgrimages and retreats are the way to do it. It really catapults your spirituality. It really has an impact of a huge growth spurt when it comes in terms of getting closer to God. And there's if you're looking for a unique and beautiful spiritual renewal, how about considering taking a pilgrimage to the shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament? And that is where you can visit the final resting place of Mother Angelica. And you can also tour the EWTN campus. So it's just a great experience, great pilgrimage. It'll really just kind of set your heart on fire for the faith and be proud that EWTN is going strong. And it's just a wonderful time. So if you want to start your pilgrimage today, just call EWTN to the number to call EWTN is 205-271-2966. That's 205-271-2966. 2966. Okay, we're trying to still connect with Jerry, I believe, and we'll get him back on. I'm sure he's listening while he's trying to get connected, but I'll go right ahead and move on to, is it Bernadine in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, listening on Sirius XM 130. Did I say that right, Bernadine? No? Yes? Do we have next caller in Dearborn Heights? No. Okay. She's not there. Maybe I didn't say it right. Is it Bernadine? Okay, not there. Can we put her on hold or put him on hold or just want to make sure? Okay, how about Jorge? Jorge, you must be listening in Jacksonville, Florida on the EWTN app. Hi, Jorge.
Oh, hello.
Hello. How are you?
Sorry. Oh, fine. I just want to call to share what happened to me like approximately 4 years ago. I was fired from my previous job for insubordination because I didn't agree to do something that was wrong to the customers. So I spent 2 years without a job, actively looking for jobs and couldn't find it. After 2 years, I decided to give up and say, God, it's all in your hands. I don't want to apply for any more jobs. I was applying for 5 jobs a week at least. And I went to one of these food banks, and they have a little store next to it. And the person who was there, who actually was a Jewish, doing volunteer for the Catholic Church, and she gave me this broken rosary, and I fixed it. And when I got home, that I was alone because I took my kids to the school. My wife was working, cleaning houses and all that stuff. Out of the sun, I took the rosary, I fixed it, and started crying like a baby. So I decided to pray the rosary, the novena for Saint Benedict.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
When I finished at the 9th day, I received a call from this staffing agency that I didn't apply for. And they told me, you applied for us 2 years ago. That would be 6 years now. And we have your resume here, and we just decided that you were a good fit for this new job that we have. And so I started working.
Wow.
After finishing that novena on the 9th day, I received that call. Then I realized when I went to start working in this new bank 2 years ago now, when I started going through the stairs, I realized that it was September the 12th, exactly 3 years after I was fired. And
wow.
I just, it was amazing because it was everything in precise order. 9 days after the novena.
Right.
2 years after I was fired. Not been working here for 2 years.
Right.
And I still have a job.
Jorge, I have to share something that I just want to say thank you so very much. You don't know how many men you have helped with your story. I have to say this. I have to say it only because I've been in religious education for a long time. There are many men. I know the Knights of Columbus carry their rosaries, and there's many men that go to prayer. But there's a lot of men that still feel that they don't have to dedicate themselves to prayer. And I don't know why they feel that way. I don't get it. But Jorge, your example is going to help thousands because you went to prayer and you went to a powerful novena and God answered at the perfect time. And you see how beautiful that is? You took, were able to harness that wonderful spiritual power that God is willing to give if we bend our knees and we humble ourselves in prayer. And you I can't thank you enough. And I say blessings to you. I pray that more and more things come your way, and you just have the most abundant, fruitful life. And thank you for being a model for all of us, and how Christian men need to pray and need to take on dedicated prayer. So Jorge, I say kudos to you. Way to go. You sound like a great guy. Jerry. Oh, Jerry, you're back. Hi, Jerry.
I agree, Jorge. Thank you so much for your call. A few things going on here where I live right now. Just got back from my sister's yesterday, and the internet is out, and then the power just went out. So it's not like being on the brink, but it's frustrating when trying to do live radio. But we do have, let's see, I think we have Paul in the South. Paul, we've got about maybe 60 seconds total for you and for us. So if you could be real brief, we'll get you on the program. Hi, Paul.
Hello. Thank you for the time that you're giving me to share my story. I
sure
appreciate it, and God bless everyone. I just wanted to go ahead and share a quick version of what I've been through to help all those kind of on the edge and on the rocks.
Sure. As brief as you can, Paul. I apologize, but we did want to get you on, but we have a limited time here. So.
No, I understand. I've been through all kinds of brain issues. I commissioned and graduated in 2014, and the next month afterwards, I had a brain aneurysm, and the next year after that, I had some brain swelling and scar tissue as a result of a surgery I had. During that time, me and my wife have been on the rocks. We've struggled, and in our marriage, with my addictions to pornography and masturbation and all that, and it was a dark time. I grew up Catholic, and she didn't. But this last year, the gods came through, and because I placed all my trust in Him, and I started saying Divine Mercy, started saying the Rosary, but everything in our marriage has come together. I've not had the issues I did with my masturbation and pornography. My brain swelling has gone down, and I have issues here and there with my health, but
well, Paul, let me jump in there. I apologize, but we rejoice with you in the triumphs that you have experienced. These are some difficult things physically and the other struggles that you had, and thank God. Thank you for sharing that, Paul. I have no doubt that you have just truly touched and inspired a lot of lives. I wish we hadn't talked with you about that, but Deb, as we mentioned earlier, we're preempted tomorrow for the March for Life.
We are, so we'll be back on Monday live, but we want to thank you so very much. We had great comments come in on social media. Check out EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page and check them out and keep the conversation going, or you can always email us at take2@EWTN.com. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you real soon.
God bless.